Welcome everybody to my latest video. So for this video, I'm basically going to be showing you guys how I go about repairing my Star Wars Trilogy joystick here. Now one of the main reasons why I'm making this video is because I've had probably like 2 or 3 people contact me in regards to problems they've had with this joystick. Now if you have one of these cabinets, or if you have any cabinet in general, especially something that has a joystick or a steering wheel or something like that, there's going to come a time where it needs to be fixed and or replaced. Now, I always figure, or in my opinion, the worst culprits of video arcade cabinet abuse are little kids. Not that there's too many arcade places anymore, but the ones you do go in and you see little kids, they're just slamming these things back and forth, and it's kind of just depressing because of the damage that eventually gets done. And I knew that eventually I would need to fix this thing, and the reason is because when you play this game, the target on screen, it basically didn't move as good as I would like it to. So if you're having the same issues as I am, then hopefully this video will help you be able to fix it. If not, I'm going to tell you a few other things you can do in order to fix a potential problem you may have. Now the first problem is if your target on screen just isn't moving correctly, and what do you know, I'm running out of battery. Okay, hold on. Okay, we're back, and now my camera is fully charged. So anyways, as I was saying, if your target on screen just isn't matching up with your movements here on the joystick, the easiest thing to do is to go ahead and calibrate the joystick. And the way you do that is basically going into your test menu, and you look down here. You probably can't see it, but there's some buttons. One says service, one says test. You're going to press the service button, and it'll take you to your service menu, and just go to basically where you need to go for calibrating the joystick. Follow the instructions, and hopefully that will work. Now, if your problem is that the target on screen isn't centered, maybe it's too high, maybe it's over too far to the right or to the left, or maybe it's just not moving as fast as you want it to, then let me show you what you need to do. So you got your cabinet. If you look on the right hand side, there's going to be a plate. Let me see. This plate usually goes here. Remove the bolts, and that'll get you access on the inside. Now, hopefully it's focusing in, but you see that board right there? That's actually hooked up to the joystick, and you can see that there's 4 knobs. Now that first knob, you're going to need a little screwdriver. That first knob controls your target as far as going up and down. If you want your center to be way down here, that's how you get it to be down there. If you want it to be in the middle or high on top, that first knob, you can decide where you want the center or where you want the neutral position of your target to be when this is in the neutral position. Now that second knob, and hopefully I'm remembering this correctly, the second knob you turn, and that basically you can decide the speed at which your target will go up and down. So when you move this back, the target will move at a certain speed that you like. If you want it to go real slow, you want it to go real high, that's how you decide. The third knob right there, that decides the speed for your target to go left to right. So once again, you move the joystick over here, you want it to go to the right really fast or really slow, that's how you decide. And of course, the last knob right there, that you can decide where you want your target to be in the neutral position for left or right. So if you want it over here, or here, or here, or here, if you're a normal person, you just want it dead center. But That's how you basically fix the target. Now, my problem, it actually needs repairs. And basically, the pots on the inside of this joystick need to be replaced. So, let me show you what you need to do, and hopefully I can get this all in one video. If not, it'll be two. But hopefully it can help someone else. Help someone else out. So the first thing you want to do is remove these bolts. You're going to have some screws, two here, one here, and one here. So once you get those removed, you're going to pop this up. And I've already obviously had it removed. Now you can see the bottom of your action buttons there. The wires will be hooked up to that. So you want to remove all the wiring from the button, and then this will just slide right off. Now let me show you what the wiring looks like. Here's the wiring, and it's just your basic cherry switch. So you're going to remove that from the button, and then you got two other wires. You can see those right there. Those get connected. I don't know if it's focusing in, but you can see the connection right there and there. That works the light of the button, the illumination. Okay, so you got that done. Next thing you want to do is you got 4 bolts here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead and remove those. Now once you do that, you cannot just pop out the joystick, because if you do, you might damage something. Now let's see if I can, right there, you see that connection right there? That connection is from your game harness to the joystick over here. So you're going to want to disconnect that before you remove the joystick, because if you don't disconnect that right there, you're going to, pull along all these other wires, and you might actually cause some damage. So let me go ahead and do that. It's a pain in the ass sometimes. If you can't, I kind of just put my hand through here and try and disconnect it with one hand. If you can't do that, then I would suggest opening up this entrance right here and putting one arm through here and one arm through here, and you can disconnect it that way. So let me go ahead and do that right now. Okay, here we are, and I removed the joystick. This is the connection I was showing you. Now, these joysticks, there's really not much to them. I mean, they're expensive as hell. In fact, all Sega parts are expensive as hell. But there's really not much to them. There's the board that I was showing you on how to make adjustments on your target. And if you've never seen one of these, or you don't know how they work, basically, that's a pot right there. The exact term is, was it potentiometer? I don't know, I'm having a brain freeze right now. But anyways, there's one there, and there's one that goes right here. And you can see it right here. Now, what happens is this gets screwed into the body of the joystick on the inside, and I don't know if you can see, but there's a groove right there. That groove is connected to the joystick, and that groove gets connected to that right there. And what happens is, when you move the joystick, what's causing the movement is this thing right here. You move the joystick, this part moves, that sends a signal to this, which sends a signal to the wiring, which sends a signal to the board, and this one controls the left and the right. So you move the joystick left, or left, right, this moves left and right, that inside part right there, and that's how it works. That's the basic simple term of, or a simple explanation. This pot right here, this controls your movement of up and down. So you move the joystick up, the inside of this pot turns and it sends a signal to the wires that your target has to move up. So there's a little bit of info for you right there if you've never known how these things work. It may not be the exact terminology and best definition, but as you know, most of my videos I try and use very simple terms and explanations. So what happened is this pot right here died out on me. It just does not work at all anymore. So what I need to do is replace this one, and I bought a replacement, and I'm going to replace this one too just for the heck of it, just so I know I have two brand new pots that are good to go for another 5-10 years or whatever. Now to replace these, this is one of the very few times that I will recommend that you actually have a soldering iron. Most of the time I tell you, you can just connect the wires and that's good enough. Well, these, there's really no connection. You have to actually solder them onto the pots. So, I guess you can tape them there or do whatever, MacGyverism you want to do, but this is one of the very few times I'll actually recommend soldering. So, I'm gonna, try and get my soldering skills on video. They're not very good, but you guys can follow along. Now, here's the thing. Not all of these are the same. You need to find out which type you need. Best thing to do is look in the arcade manual for whatever game you have. If you don't have an arcade manual, well, there's really no need to buy one. Just go search on the internet. For every single game I owned, I've never bought a manual. I've always searched on the internet, and I was able to find a copy and download it for free. So, look in the manual. It'll tell you what type of pots you need, or just go to a place like a Suzo Hap and go on their website. And they'll probably be able to tell you which pot you need for your game. So, let me get my pots and we'll go from there. Okay, here we are, and let's see if we can take a look. There you can see my fantastic work using the soldering iron. Not bad. It's not the greatest work I've done, but this is actually the first time I've used a soldering iron in probably about 3 years. Now anyways, before we're done, I also decided to replace the pot amp board. Now here's the old one, kind of ratty, and I think this also needed to be replaced. Probably not as much as the pots needed to, but I figured if I'm going to replace the pots, might as well replace the amp board also. So here's my new one, and to do this, to replace it, it's real simple. This is placed in here. It might be screwed in. You just pop it out, pop the new one in, and attach this set of wires, and that's it. So it's the last thing I'm going to do. Then I'll stick this in the cabinet, and hopefully all is good. Okay, here we are, and as you can see, I got the joystick once again assembled into the cabinet. Now, after you replace your pots and even replace your amp board, you can't just plug the joystick back in and you're ready to go. Once you got it assembled in, through the amp board, like I showed you earlier, you got to make your adjustments, so make sure the target is where it needs to be, and then you have to calibrate the joystick. And of course, you do that through the settings menu. Just follow the instructions, and then you're ready to play. So let's go ahead and turn this on, and hopefully all should be good. Go ahead and turn off this light. Turn on the cabinet. Just a quick little tiny bit of gameplay here. And hopefully everything's working as it's supposed to be. And yep, the target is moving much better than it was before. Before it would be jumping all over the place, you know, half the time just couldn't shoot anything, but now it's working pretty much near perfect. Nice and smooth. You can reach all around. Sometimes I wouldn't be able to reach way up here in the corners with the target, and that was just because the pots were going bad. But everything seems to be working good now, which I'm real happy about. So there you go. Maybe in the future I'll do a gameplay video if that might be something people are interested in. But for right now, that's going to do it. So until next time.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.